The latest coming in as hate speech bill has been tabled in the Assembly. Home Minister G. Parameshwara has introduced a stringent hate speech bill in the Karnataka Assembly. Yes, up to 10 years of imprisonment could be put in place for hate speech is what the Karnataka Assembly will now mull over. Also, a fine of 1 lakh rupees has been proposed, and repeat offence could lead to 2 to 10 years in jail in Karnataka in the scenario of hate speech. The first offence could also lead up to 7 years in jail and a fine of 50,000 rupees, and the bill is packed with tough enforcement clauses. BJP has raised a strong objection to the bill's introduction, but goes quiet after the mic is cut. There's a major uproar that is expected during the debate session in the Karnataka Assembly. Let me cut across to Sagai joining us now with further details of what really is transpiring on this matter in terms of hate speech and such stringent punishments that are now being mulled over. What is the BJP's position over it?
So far, BJP have not reacted. However, they claim that it is trying to curtail the freedom of speech by people, and they have also alleged that if someone speaks against the government, and they might consider that as a hate speech, and that is the reason the Congress government in Karnataka is trying to bring this particular bill. What we also get to learn through our sources is that as of now, they have not raised the issue because it is just tabled. Once it is come up for discussion, probably at that point of time, BJP might raise the issue, might protest against this particular bill inside the well. As of now, it is just tabled in the Assembly, and we are expecting more uproar once the discussion starts over the bill.
Oh yes, absolutely, Sagai Raj, and the government also trying to curtail the scope of any sort of criticism, because that is really the borderline when it comes to calling out the government. Here, while the Congress government in Karnataka is mulling the same, wonder what the Congress's position will be if the centre or any other government were to do this.
So if you notice that the Congress have maintained stating that it is their agenda that they have to stop hate speech, and this is not something new. Even their manifesto, they went on to say that they will go ahead and curb hate speech across the country, and even in Karnataka. And subsequently, they have brought a bill. It was been approved in the cabinet, and it was been also tabled around 11:30 here in Belagavi session. And as we speak now, it has been kept for discussion. Probably once it comes for discussion, there might be more uproar, and they have categorically mentioned that the first time offender will be fined around 50,000 rupees and will have to face a punishment of 7 years of imprisonment. And the repeated offender will have to pay around 1 lakh rupees fine and 10 years of imprisonment who has been booked in the hate speech crime.
All right, Sagai Raj, do stay on. Mr. S. Prakash of Karnataka BJP is with us on the phone line. Good afternoon to you, sir. Your stance on what really is happening on this front and the hate speech bill that is being introduced by the Congress?
No, it is a very dangerous bill introduced by the Congress government in Karnataka. Who decides what is hate speech and what is not? It is the government officials or the state government who are ruling will decide anyone's speech as a hate speech, and they settle scores with them. This will open a can of worms to seek vengeance against the opposition parties and those who do not believe in their ideology, and the Congress party who does not believe in others' ideology, they will be targeted definitely. And look at the clause, 10 years imprisonment and 1 lakh rupees fine. Even for in a murder case, so much, such a long punishment will not be given on many cases. And I am sure this bill will not stand the legal scrutiny, and it should be thrown out lock, stock and barrel.
Oh yes, absolutely. Mr. S. Prakash, fact also remains that it is borderline, because any sort of criticism against the government, and especially when you go by their track record of the kind of corruption charges, of the lack of governance, of clear civil infrastructure crumbling, and how people have spoken up against this government time and again, but to suppress those voices, to curtail them, is not in the best interest of the state.
BJP had issued an advertisement listing out the price increase made by the government in the last 2 years. This government filed a defamation case in the court. Such is the vengeful attitude of the Congress government in Karnataka. Without this act, they have indulged in such an act. If this bill is passed and becomes an act, I am afraid to imagine the amount of vengeful act they will be indulging against their critics and the opposition party. On this backdrop, this bill should not be passed and this should not become an act, and I am sure it will not stand as an iota of legal scrutiny even if it is passed just because they have a majority in the House.
Absolutely. Mr. S. Prakash, thank you for speaking to India Today this afternoon. And that's the word coming in from the BJP as they are strictly opposing the introduction of the hate speech bill, as they are of the opinion that this is a clear-cut way to be able to suppress voices, and anyone who will be critical of the government will have to face harsh punishment. And just to give you details of what this bill really entails, after 10 years of imprisonment for hate speech that is being mulled, 1 lakh rupees of fine that is being proposed. In case of a repeat offence, there could be jail term of between 2 to 10 years. The first offence could actually mean 7 years in jail and up to 50,000 rupees of fine. And the bill is packed with tough enforcement clauses. Sagai, I want to come back to you because this could really be the biggest flashpoint in Karnataka right now, given the fact that G. Parameshwara is all set to introduce this bill, but the BJP is already up in arms saying that this would be a very, very wrong precedent.
Absolutely. As I told you earlier, they have alleged that it is trying to curb the freedom of speech and expression, and they say that they want to target the BJP and their workers, and that is the reason they are trying to bring a hate speech bill. However, the Congress have clarified, stating that anything against any particular community or trying to provoke people and trying to instigate people on communal lines, they will be booked under this particular law, and they are committed, and that is their agenda, and they will go ahead with this particular bill. Remember, it has already been approved in the cabinet. Now it has been tabled, and any time now it might be discussed inside the assembly.
All right, so Gairaj, many thanks for getting us the latest. Of course, we wait and watch how this really is discussed in the Karnataka Assembly and what eventually turns out on the hate speech bill that has been tabled by the Siddaramaiah government in the Karnataka Assembly.